SNL Live here on a very rainy day. Cody Stutes, Landry Locker with you on a hump day. We get a little bit of break from CJ Stroud and company. CJ Stroud, he's been shut down as far as throwing. Next week, we're going to get two opportunities to look at the Texans again on the field. And I got to say this, they got to shut down CJ Stroud. I don't want to see CJ Stroud throw in the next 2 weeks. The shoulder soreness has been acknowledged. Shut him down, get him ready for training camp, which is about a month and a half plus away. Since it's already been acknowledged, Cody, I think they just need to shut him down. And I don't want to see CJ Stroud throwing next week. As a matter of fact, I would have loved for D'Amico Ryans to just come out yesterday and said, general soreness, we're going to shut CJ down till camp. We'll talk about it then.
So you're going full John Taffer bar rescue. Shut it down when he's yelling at the people.
Shut it down, and then we'll do the grand reopening at camp.
Take the off season, learn all the new cocktails, and then when training camp gets here, restart it, fire it back up.
And then give D'Amico an earful for his weak-ass marketing / message in the way in which they handled this whole thing.
That's a show that can never get made, but would be hilarious to be made is football team rescue. You just go in there and you fix an NFL team over the course of a season.
I feel like that's what we try to do from our soapboxes every day.
Sure, we're football team rescue.
We're just not wearing cheap, untailored suits and sitting out in the parking lot in a SUV, spying on them and waiting to go in there and talk about how shitty their French fries are.
Taffer's got that Oprah thing where one day he's real skinny and the next day he's real fat. So maybe that's why the suits are tough to deal with. I am against shutting CJ Stroud down. And the reason I am against that is if he can throw, it would give me great peace of mind that he throws at minicamp. Because if he doesn't throw, then I'm going to worry about it all summer long. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to think about it. And every time I think about the offense and be like, as long as CJ's shoulder's good, as long as his shoulder's okay, this. As long as that's going to be like the caveat that's associated with the offense all summer long until he gets to training camp. And then I'm going to worry if he's going to stay healthy all year long. If it is indeed general soreness of his shoulder.
It's not general though, because he's the only one that's sitting out. So we've already established that.
Well, I think you're taking the word general too literal when you're breaking down the general soreness thing. Like I don't think that they wanted to say shoulder soreness. And they wanted to should they have just said?
Yeah, D'Amico said it. D'Amico said it like it was rehearsed. It was said multiple times.
Yeah, like whoever agreed on them calling it general soreness was like you get general soreness after you work out too hard at the gym. Like that's general soreness. Like whoever agreed on that being the phrasing, I feel like that was the wrong way to say it.
Right.
So, but at the same time, they also perhaps don't want to fully, wholly, totally acknowledge that a guy with a shoulder history has a shoulder injury.
Which is fine. I get it. And you don't have to.
But
there's no injury report.
General soreness, if that's what's kept him out here, general soreness.
Shut him down.
He's had 2 weeks to get rid of general soreness. He should throw at minicamp.
Get ready for camp. Get ready for training camp. We'll see you there.
Either,
and then let's get it right.
Either general soreness is taken care of and he throws at minicamp, or you're correct and it was way worse than general soreness.
Okay, well, here's the thing too, and I know the rules aren't the same because a lot of times when guys don't practice, they'll hide them as they don't have to talk to the media. Those rules don't necessarily apply, but it feels like if CJ Stroud does throw, it's probably appropriate to have him go answer questions. Is that fair?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. So, and I don't think those are the rules or anything like that. I could see him throwing and then not putting him available to the media, but it's just, I'll put it this way. The way in which the Texans handle things, because I kind of understand like where Caserio comes from and the nature of doing that, although it's not going to get past the Boston media, but it's basically like the way in which they get paranoid and they control the messaging and they try to get their media message right, like based on the media that they deal with for the most part. It's almost the equivalent of some asshole wearing golf spikes and bringing a golf glove and clubs to play mini golf. Like it's not you're not dealing with the New York media where you have to try to control some sort of message. And at the end of the day, that guy's going to look like a jackass, which is what they look like when they try to handle this. It's unnecessary. It's not based on your competition. Like, all they got to do is come out and say, on day one, CJ Stroud's dealing with general soreness. We're going to shut him down, and we'll talk about it at training camp. But now you have all this stuff where they overthink stuff. They prepare at a pathetic level based on what they're going to face. Because what DeMeco Ryans did yesterday, I know a lot of people might not care, but if he would have gone up there in New York, Boston, Dallas, I don't know. Like, you can name a lot of places, Cleveland, and he would have said that about CJ Stroud 4 days, 5 days after what he said, and then he said no more CJ questions. He would have got bombarded with CJ questions after that. People aren't just going to sit there with their tail tucked between their legs and take that crap, especially based on the way in which y'all presented the message the first 6 days. So they got to figure it out. And this might be just me in my own little bubble, like, worrying about it, but it's weird because they almost like over prepare and overthink what they're dealing with and what their surroundings are. Like, at this point, they should have some sort of grasp of what their surroundings are and what this situation is. We're shutting down CJ Stroud for OTAs. He's dealing with general shoulder soreness. We're not worried about it. We anticipate everything being okay at camp, and we'll
you've already said too much. The perfect way to say it is his shoulder's sore and he's not throwing until the shoulder's not sore. That's it. That's all they had to say on last week.
Yeah.
That's all they had to say. Hey, yeah, he's not throwing, his shoulder sore. Why is his shoulder sore? Well, his shoulder sore right now, so he's not throwing it. Like, and then the onus is on us to figure out why it's sore. Like, they don't have to reveal why it's sore. It would be nice if they would, but all they had to say last week was his shoulder's sore and he's not going to throw till his shoulder's not sore. And
the other thing is, you have the Mixon and CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud's going to be there at the camp, and now media is no longer going to be there, and it's because of some rules like that. You can't be there at a kid's camp. Okay. I mean, I guess that's not connected, but it does seem rather strange that in most situations, anyone who's involved in a camp, they speak to the media and then you figure it out. I don't know. Again, it's not anything that you have to, like, I'm not going to sit here for a month and a half and panic over it, but in the immediate, it's just a weird way of handling things.
Yeah, they should have said his shoulder's sore and he's not throwing until his shoulder's not sore. And then they say, well, if this was a game, would he play? Well, it's not a game. It's OTAs. Okay. Like, that's a pretty easy way to handle it. But the start was, they had a bad start, and then they were too vague with their catch up after they had the bad start. And here we are awaiting a mini camp to see if the quarterback's going to throw a football. And if he doesn't, then the head coach is going to have to say something else about the guy's shoulder.
Okay.
And if he doesn't, then okay, then we can all sit here for a summer and worry about it ahead of training camp, and we can think about the ceiling for the Texans being much lower because the quarterback's shoulder doesn't work.
All right, sir. Your meal comes with a salad or a soup. Could I interest you in a salad or a soup?
I'd like a salad, please. Can I get extra dressing on the side?
You just ruined it. We're going to the soup. Super chats.
You ain't never hate. Swarm.
You probably order soup at Olive Garden, though. You're that kind of guy. 100%. He's ordering the minestrone. He's ordering the minestrone soup at Olive Garden. Zero doubt.
The amount of lies, the amount of food lies that you tell about me on this show is unacceptable.
This is Stoots' Olive Garden order. Yes, I'll have a yes.
Wrong.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. May I take your order? Here's Stoots' order right here. I'll have spaghetti.
I got a mute button, buddy. I don't have to let you lie on me. I got a mute button. I Tony reality your ass. Around the horn, gone. SNL, we're taking over, and I just hit the mute button on you.
Come on. That's immoral. Yes, I'll have a spaghetti with no sauce, just butter on top. Minestrone soup, no breadsticks either, and a water with no ice.
Yeah, that's wrong.
That's your Olive Garden order.
I ate 4 breadsticks the last time I was there before the other person got to eat 1. We had to get more breadsticks. So that's wrong. I always get the salad. You get this extra dressing on the side.
Let's go to the soup. Wag says, sorry, I'm late to the party. How bad is his shoulder? Your guess is as good as ours. We have no idea.
Bad enough that he can't throw at OTAs.
HD AV Traveler, how you doing? Mi amigo.
Good to see you,
David White, why can't CJ shoulder go out the year Jeremiah Smith is draft eligible? Not this year.
David's like, season's over.
Jeez, what are they going to tank?
David's tanking in June.
So are they going to be in the Arch Manning sweepstakes?
Well, that's
not leaving. He's not leaving though.
That's the 2027 draft too.
Yeah, he's not leaving. Put some icy hot on it. Let him rest till training camp. Thank you very much, Wags. That's the right approach. Ice up. Back to Wags again. Does this set him back learning new offense? No, he's very active. Like I want to make that clear. He's very active in learning this offense at practice. We've made that extremely clear. If we haven't, our apologies, but he's still getting very active mental reps. This might be the most animated that we've seen CJ at practice. From what we can actually like see. So this is not, he's going through, it might actually be a more valuable learning experience for him being able to picnic Kaylee's brain during this. There might be a blessing in disguise with all this.
Hey, you see how Keaton Slovis couldn't break glass with that pass? You could throw it harder than that, right? Yes, I can, even with my hurt shoulder. All right, good. We're off to a good start here, CJ. He has the little walkie-talkie with him. He's listening to all the plays. He stands over behind the play, watches it happen. You even see him kind of pantomime is probably the word I want to use. That you even see him pantomime where he would have put the ball as well.
Dime says 23-year-olds don't get sore. That boy had surgery. Hey, you're not the only one who thinks that, my friend.
It would be the greatest cover-up in the history of the NFL if they were able to have their franchise quarterback have shoulder surgery.
It's easy.
No, it's not.
It's easy.
No, it's not.
You could hide a shoulder surgery easily.
Not in this age. Not when everybody's talking. No way.
Hide it. You hear about it a lot. It didn't miss any time. Played through it. Wag said, so did I hear Cody doesn't share the breadsticks? You heard correctly. Trill Kick X.
If you don't reach, you're gonna get left behind.
What was Stingley Nico look like today? They didn't practice today, so
no open look for us today. Next open look is Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's been a I would say judges scorecard would give you Nico Collins ahead of Derek Stingley on the judges scorecard in their matchup so far, though. Nobody's had a knockout, but if I had to judge it that way.
David says big bowl of Alfredo for the breadsticks. You get the sauce sampler. I think it's like $4 extra, and you can get all 3 sauces. But I'm more of a marinara dude, although you can mix it. Don't threaten me with a good time. Mix it all over the place.
Well, I like to get the extra dressing on the side for the salad, then dip the breadsticks in it.
Oh, wow.
And they don't charge you for that.
Michael said, even Chris Sims said today we would have heard if CJ had surgery. Okay. From who?
From Ian Rappaport, from Adam Schefter.
Even Chris Sims said it. Did you hear that? Even Chris Sims said it. Chris Sims said it. So, wow.
I just have a belief that Rappaport or Schefter.
I get it.
Like, I'm not saying Aaron Wilson's supposed to tell us that he had surgery. That's not what he's working with. But Schefter or Rappaport or Pelissero or Garofolo or Diana Rossini, one of those people would have had the report if CJ Stroud had a surgery. If he went to the hospital, put the gown on, went under the knife, somebody would have said something. I believe he got rest as a prescription because the offseason is lengthy. That's part of the reason he didn't do as much is because he was resting the shoulder. And I wonder if once he got back with some active football activity, he's a little sore and they're being overly cautious. That's what it feels like to me.
S. Brown says media will never be happy no matter what they say. That sounds really dumb. You sound like a weirdo.
Because if they said Tuesday, yeah, you know what? He rested his shoulder this offseason, he came back and got sore, we'd shut him back down. Okay, great.
You sound like a weirdo, S. Brown.
Explained everything.
Doesn't make sense. Media will never be happy. HDAV Traveler, Cody, what kind of dressing you putting on this salad? You just got to get what they give you.
The Olive Garden dressing. The OG.
You know they got a low fat in the stores, a low fat Olive Garden dressing.
It's quite good too.
Yeah, it tastes the same.
It's quite good. In fact, when I go to the store, that's the one I buy.
Yeah, it's delicious.
They don't have it everywhere though, and they don't make it in the giant jug like the other one.
It's small, bro. It's probably about probably 5 bags of lettuce worth.
Yeah.
Although probably 2 with you, with the way you drenched the dressing. I've seen you. Anyway, hey, you're not disputing that one, brother.
What's the use? You're just going to ignore me. You're going to lie about me on food again. You can lie on my athletic talent. You can lie on my ability to speak to the opposite sex. Don't lie on my food, though. Don't lie on my food.
I have a question. And this is me. Sometimes I become a media nerd. And one of my mentors used to tell me, rest in peace, Mark Friedman. He used to tell me, quit trading your fucking media trading cards on the air. Like that was like the first thing, like where you would like say stuff that no one else cares about, like media stuff. Now in this format, it doesn't matter as much, but like in radio, time is money. So don't trade your media trading cards. John McClain does it all the time. He'll mention like Paul Kaharski. It's like no one gives a shit who Paul Kaharski is. Like driving around in Houston listening to the radio. Like, but I'm going to ask you this, and this is just, I think it's journalism 101. I think it's fair. I would say this to the guy if we talked about it, but this is something that I don't understand. And maybe this did happen. I don't think it has. And there's been a couple times that it hasn't. So if you're a reporter, and we're not necessarily reporters, but even whenever I have like a complaint about Bobby Slowick or D'Amico Ryans or Laramie Tunsil or whoever else, not like if you're just breaking down, like you don't just go up and say, hey, you sucked the other day. But like, if you have a question, like it seems like whenever you go in front of them, you should at least ask the question, right? Mm-hmm. Why is it that Aaron Wilson reports the CJ Stroud thing? He put out the Laramie Tunsil quote last year, and whenever like we actually talk to them, he's not the one who immediately asks about it. Like, if you're the one putting the report out there, shouldn't you be the one asking these questions about CJ Stroud's shoulder, about Laramie Tunsil saying that he blamed the offensive line? Like, it shouldn't have been like the Tunsil thing last year shouldn't have been me and you sitting there asking him questions while like we throw up softballs when you're the one who reported it. Am I being a media nerd?
It does. That would be one of the things where I have this. I'm the one that had this first. I'm going to hammer this home by asking about it. That would have been my approach.
Yeah, it just seems like that's the way to go. And I've witnessed like the McMahons, and I'm doing the media trading cards. But like whenever you have a report, like you should
Is
be
that
the
a
one.
Tim McMahon rookie card?
It's actually a 1-of-1 signed.
There you go. It's instead of a jersey patch, it's a button-down shirt patch.
I can hear Frito talking to me now. What the fuck are you doing? Anyways, Marcus Johnson asks, what is the advantage of not disclosing injuries? Now, here's the thing. I hear like some old school mentality stuff where it's like, well, if you tell them where they're hurt, then they'll focus on it. It doesn't work that way anymore in the NFL. You have to say what's hurt. Like there's rules now where in season you have to disclose what body part is hurt if they have injuries. I guess the advantage of not disclosing, like the old school fools would say, is I don't know. Is it like an information thing? Is it I don't know. Is it controlling the narrative? In this instance, I don't know.
There is no advantage that the Houston Texans gain by not explaining what's going on with CJ Stroud right now. Now, you want to tell me week of, they don't say anything about who's hurt, who's this, who's that. They let the injury report do the talking. I'll totally understand that. But in June, not explaining why the quarterback's not throwing fully, wholly, totally, and completely, you gain no advantage from that. Liam Cohen doesn't give a damn about what you say about CJ Stroud today. Shane Steichen doesn't give a damn. Mr. Nobody in Tennessee doesn't give a damn. There's no competitive advantage to not explaining what's going on.
I think also that, I mean, there might, like, from D'Amico's point of view, and I'll just say this, like, I think I truly believe that, and I think D'Amico just cares about players. Like, I think D'Amico cares more about players than anything. His relationship with players, protecting players, I think it's important. So I think his instinct is always going to be, I want to protect the player, whether it has that impact or not. I think in D'Amico's heart and D'Amico's like delivery, that's his number one goal. So I would say that's how he functions. I don't know whether he thinks that there's an advantage there or not. I know he's not going to like tell his game plan or anything like that too. But that's what I think the foundation is of D'Amico.
This is a protection of CJ Stroud or protecting somebody else in the organization because Stroud's hurt? Is it protecting the wait staff because he lifted wrong or something?
I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. I also think D'Amico does kind of have like the I don't know that he looks down on media types, but I think he kind of he has a decent amount of respect, but I think he does think that there is a big line between player and media.
Go on.
Where he doesn't want to give like too much information to you.
Okay.
Like I think I don't like, I think Bill O'Brien was like a meathead who, if you weren't on the football team, like in high school, he probably thought, hey, bitch, go get my lunch tray or something like that. Like, I think there's a certain amount of that. I think for D'Amico, I just think he kind of feels like there's information that that they have that he doesn't want to get out.
You're on a need to know basis and you don't need to know?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. It's not important that you know that now. I don't see why you would need to know that now. I could see that. Like the pushback could very simply be, again, I don't know that this would ever benefit them to straight out say this, but we don't have to disclose injuries this time of year. Okay, so he's injured? Yeah, he's not practicing. Okay, well, how severe is the injuries? We don't have to disclose it this time of year. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I think I did a shit job of explaining that. Wag says, gents, what are the best to do it's in Texas?
What are the best do-its in Texas?
Yeah.
Do-its in Texas. Like things you got to go do while you're in Texas? That'd be my guess. My guess. Gents, what are the three? Or is he asking about the three best media people to do it in Texas?
I don't know. I'm confused. I would answer your question. I don't know, sir. And he also says Darby retiring, really. Yeah, they're looking for another corner.
Yeah, D'Amico, it's weird. They can't explain what the quarterback situation is, but yeah, we're going to sign somebody to replace Darby. Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah, my D'Amico explanation sucked. I just think he doesn't want to tell us shit, and I think he thinks that there's like a certain like sacred nature of.
I do think there's
when it comes to the information.
I do think there is a section of information that head coaches feel like media doesn't need to know that. I feel like there's every head coach that feels that way until convinced otherwise, or they believe that information crosses over into the media needs to know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the way that I guess it could go.
I do feel like for D'Amico Ryans, if you don't ask him about it, it's going to be very rare that he's going to volunteer what you want to know.
No, he's not gonna volunteer any information. He doesn't have to. Like, it's not. But I mean, we just talk about it, and yeah, I mean, I don't think you take him at his word though. That's the thing that I think is like. There's a bat like where you do develop when you do this. You do develop like deserved skepticism from people when you talk now.
Well, sure,
As long as that's understood. Unless you just sit there and say, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, yes. I'm not going to ask you about CJ. Yes." What question did you ask yesterday? I'm not saying that you did that. I'm just that this is a different transition. But what did you say after D'Amico said, "Don't ask about CJ"?
I didn't ask any questions.
Oh, okay. All right. Why are you looking at me like that?
Well, what's your point?
No, I'm just saying like there should be some skepticism met a little bit when you botch stuff like this. If you're D'Amico.
Yeah, well, my assumption was that the words general soreness were going to come out of his mouth regardless of what I asked about. So I didn't find it worth his time.
You made the
my
assumption.
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
What journalism class you learned that in? Just
was my assumption incorrect? I mean, he answered 3 different questions the same way, with the topic being CJ Stroud. So was I supposed to expect a different answer?
So you didn't ask him because you expected it, you said.
I didn't ask him because I didn't believe I was going to get an answer.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add?
No, I want you to repeat what you just said, but I want you to look at this picture as you say it. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I mean, if I was a hardcore journalist, I'd be embarrassed for myself. But you started the show saying we're not journalists.
No, just go ahead and say what. Just go ahead and say. Just repeat what you just said.
Yeah. So for people wanting context here, this is our journalism professor from college, Pete Bruton.
One of the best investigative journalists of all time.
He got shaken down by the CIA when he was investigating George H.W. Bush. And Landry's basically saying that I'm an embarrassment to him because I didn't ask a question.
No, you didn't ask about CJ. And you said,
I didn't ask anything.
It's not that you didn't ask. It's that you said you didn't ask because you assumed. That is one of his number one lessons. Don't assume anything. Ask everything. See, as I was hungover in all these classes, I do remember that. Don't assume anything. Ask everything.
Great. Thanks for the rehashing the lesson for me.
Tell Pete you're sorry.
I'm not saying anything to you, okay?
No, not to me, to Pete. Say, Pete, I'm sorry. Professor Bruton, I'm sorry.
No, I'm not doing that.
Say, Professor Bruton, I'm sorry.
I'm not doing that.
All right, Mr. Bruton. See you later. Johnny says, let's be honest, after Kunkel asked about offseason procedure, any questions about CJ were going to be, it doesn't matter if they're shut down. It's not a job to assume whether it's shut down on that. So, I mean, if that were the first day, yes. But we've gone 3 days now, and now there's some soreness. My question would be, was it always general soreness? We'll move on. Wags, my bad,
ask it Tuesday.
Huh?
We'll see you there Tuesday. You can ask it Tuesday.
I'll say, was it always general soreness with CJ? Whether he lays out the CJ, if it comes before he has the D'Amico King, I'm not going to answer any more questions about it thing, then okay. Wag says, my bad, was asking what are the best donuts in Texas? Not Krispy Kremes. Krispy Kremes suck.
I like a hot, fresh Shipley donut.
Hot, fresh Shipley donut.
And then every other donut place is pretty much, the same. They got that one place, I think it's like Parlor Donuts.
I think Shipley's is average.
What's better?
There's this Asian Chinese donut shop right here on Gessner. I don't know what it's called. I think it's called like Donut Land or something.
Yeah, so it's like a homemade. It's not a chain.
Oh, he's talking chains?
I mean, if you can't tell me the name of the place, like I can imagine he's not going all the way over to that one to get the one donut.
Yeah, I guess Shipley's is fine then if you just want like normal donuts. Krispy Kreme, I think, are the worst donuts in town.
They're not even really in town anymore, are they?
Shipley's?
No, Krispy Kreme.
Oh,
I think they got run out of town.
they should have.
I don't think anybody really went.
Terrible.
They do a bunch of specialty cookies or donuts, and they're all like basically the same donut, just different color icing. It all tastes the same there at Krispy Kreme. I'm not an original donut guy though.
I'm not really a big donut guy.
I don't like just a plain glazed donut. I usually get like a chocolate covered donut or a cherry filled donut or something like that.
Just chocolate sprinkles, maybe mix in a glaze, and you got to get some donut holes.
Yeah, donut holes are good. You can't mess those up. It doesn't matter how bad your regular donut is.
Dude, I got to apologize for the Bruton thing, man. Apologize for bringing Bruton into this.
No, we can call him after the show and you can tell him I'm an embarrassment to him if you want. Or you can just send him the clip. That's fine. Just send him the clip. Hey, Mr. Bruton, I want you to know. Look what this disgrace said.
I just remember when Bruton, I wrote like a Mike Leach article or something like that. And they wanted me to go up there and talk to Leach and like the guy. And I just told Bruton about it. And he took me and he's like, all right, here's what you need to do. You need to go in there. You need to have your pen, pad, and you need to make it clear you're writing every single thing they say whenever they say it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, God, this is intense. This is intense, Pete.
Yeah, he dealt with life and death situations. So, if the Texans aren't good this year, I don't think anybody's dying.
He wanted me to bring my reporter's notepad and like make it clear I was writing everything they said. He says, if y'all come visit, we go into Round Rock Donuts. Right. I was born in Round Rock, brother.
Have you had Round Rock Donuts?
Yeah, but Shipley's, all that, nothing memorable.
So you don't remember if they're good or not?
Not really.
You just don't like donuts.
Not huge on them.
Okay. What do you?
Super chat time.
You ain't never hate. Swarm.
Matthew Marr says, "What's up with the XP thing or whatever?" LOL.
That's a new feature. We don't see it on the back end on the way we look at the screen, Landry. But if you're in the chat, it grades you in like how much you comment in the chat, and it gives you XP, and then it crowns an XP champ for the day.
So if you just talk the most, you get it. I
don't actually know how it works. I just
judge quality.
I gotta imagine it's not associated with quality based on some of the past winners.
All right, so we're heading into the final stretch of OTAs.
What were we saying? OTAs are over. It's just minicamp now.
Yeah, OTAs. Now we're going to minicamp. So we're done with OTAs. We're going to minicamp. Training camps next month. What are the things that have changed the most a year ago as compared to right now? What were we saying a year ago, and what has changed the most?
Number one for me on the list is the hype and excitement a year ago for what Christian Harris was about to be. I mean, through the freaking roof. He was picking off CJ Stroud in practice, defending Stephon Diggs on a crosser a year ago. And now he can't even get on the field. So it went from, damn, this guy might be one of the best young linebackers in football. He can cover, he can tackle, he's an athlete. And now we don't even know if he's going to play football this year because apparently he's hurt again. So to me, as I went through and I went back on Houston football and looked through all my observations from OTAs and minicamp a year ago, and I constantly wrote about Christian Harris, and the one was like covering Diggs over the middle, intercepts CJ Stroud. It's like, this guy was supposed to be a huge deal and then didn't play hardly at all last year and is not even healthy right now.
I would say the biggest change this year is, and we just go back, we were wondering, is Bobby Slowick even going to be here a year from now? And we didn't think that there was any possibility that was going to be, because he just flat out sucks. He can't adjust and he can't lead during adversity. We wondered if Bobby Slowick was going to be a head coach coming off that first year. He had the multiple interviews and everyone was feeling really good about Bobby Slowick. They gave Bobby Slowick new weaponry. They added Joe Mixon. They added Stephon Diggs. You had Tank Dell. Some people were excited about the offensive line coming back. You wondered how good the offense was going to be. And if you would have told me or you last year at this time, well, a year from now, you're going to be doing a show heading into minicamp and Bobby Slowick's not going to be there, we'd have been like, oh, well, what? I wonder where he's coaching at. Like, is he with the Bears? Is like, where is Bobby Slowick? He's freaking carrying Mike McDaniel's vape. Like, he's not even an offensive coordinator anywhere. He's carrying, like, he's dusting off his face from Mike McDaniel blowing fat clouds in his face. That is crazy. Like, none of us could have imagined that happening at this point last year. And now here we are with the new system with Nick Caley. And I think that is by far the biggest change that we saw. And I think it's also an interesting way to like look at Nick Caley. It's almost like a lesson where just because a guy starts off good or starts off bad or has a first good year, sometimes the league can catch up to you. And when there's adversity and when you might have some flaws that you were able to mask in year one, they kind of creep up in year two as an OC. So I would say that by far is the biggest lesson that we've learned and the biggest difference from now to a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, I would tell you that I was so confident Bobby Slowick was going to be good that I wasn't even thinking about Bobby Slowick a year ago. Now I'll question OCs for the rest of the time. Like, is he going to be able to replicate what he did last year? Or is he going to get stuck and get fired like Bobby Slowick did?
Yeah, that was...
Damn it, Bobby.
That's another thing. Another thing that I think has kind of changed is you feel great about the corners, man. Like, the corners are Kamari last year. That was a big question mark. CB2. Now you feel amazing about the corners. Not as significant as the Slowick thing, I'll say, but that would be the biggest changes there. Bobby Slowick.
Well, I mean, a year ago they were letting Kamari right off the bat play outside, so that was going to be a sink or swim thing. I couldn't have told you he was going to be as good as he was, but at least I knew who the guy was going to be a year ago, like, because they just let him go out there and he was ahead of Okudah. And a year ago, CJ Henderson was ahead of Okudah too, and then he didn't even make the team. So, yeah, corners. I mean, you feel great about 1 and 2 this year. Still worried about 3 like you did a year ago. That's not different.
We got hot takes and donut takes on the super chat.
You ain't never hate. Swarm.
The Rhino. He says, I'm preparing to fight Landry over the Krispy Kreme take. Hey, I just think they're the worst donuts in the world. I think they're terrible. I think they taste almost like plasticky. Like, they get that even when they're hot, they're plasticky. If you leave them out for over 10 minutes, like, the good thing about real donuts, like, you leave them out and they still like keep like the cake softness. If you leave a Krispy Kreme donut out for over 15 minutes, that thing is turning into a Lego. And it's like, it's disgusting. I hate Krispy Kreme donuts more than anything. I would rather starve than eat a Krispy Kreme donut. I'm dead serious. Damn. I would rather fast than eat a Krispy Kreme donut. I would rather eat a Kroger donut than a Krispy Kreme donut.
Well, Kroger sells Krispy Kreme donuts.
Well, count me out on that then.
Saw them the other day. They're like, oh, the new Pac-Man donuts. I was like,
that's the appropriate place for Krispy Kreme. It's about the same level. That's a perfect collaboration.
Damn,
Wags.
Kroger taking a stray.
I mean, I'm just talking grocery store donut. Wags said, who has stood out to y'all in OTAs? Thoughts on stars and minicamp? Who are the candidates? Could Texans trade for Kyle Pitts and get rid of Schultz? I don't think they're going to trade for Kyle Pitts.
there's a chance Kyle Pitts just isn't good at football, right? Like
there's a very good chance.
And the way the Falcons people talk about him, he kind of seems like he's not tough enough.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the person that I would point to for Kyle Pitts, but I don't know that he's as complete of a football player, but like Vernon Davis kind of revived his career after 3 years of being talked about as kind of a bust, as like the top 10 tight end. But I don't know about Kyle Pitts. He might be kind of a tweener and a guy that just isn't it. With that said, Cody will draft him in the 8th round of fantasy this year, so you can count on that.
No.
Cut candidates. I mean, we've talked about.
I mean, I think it's going to be a dogfight to find out who the defensive tackles and defensive ends are.
Yeah, we've talked about cut candidates.
There's so many bodies there that inevitably somebody that's notable is going to get left out.
Yeah, I don't know that there's any like shockers as far as cuts. It's always the surprising ones seem like they could come on the defensive side of the ball. Like there's not a lot of offensive line cuts that would shock me. Running backs, not really. Wide receivers seem pretty set in stone. So maybe some defensive guys. I could see Juice Scruggs getting cut. Crazier things have happened, so that would be it. Stars of minicamp, I would say Jalen Knowles, my guy.
Yeah. On the field 2 out of 3 days, and he was one of the best wide receivers on the field.
Yeah, I would say Knoll. Trick Kick X, what joint practices give us the best O-line look?
Detroit. Because you got to block Aiden Hutchinson.
Justin Loco says, I'm a little behind, but Landry, Tripp, and Shipley's donuts are the best in the world. Have at it, man.
Like,
there you go.
Like Hutchinson versus I'm still on the last question. Hutchinson versus the tackles is you'll find out more about them than Derek Brown versus the interior guys. So I'll say the Lions joint practice.
I have a very intriguing player. I think this is the guy that I'm looking forward to most seeing on the field. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know if it's going to be pretty, but I want to see what Trent Brown looks like if he does play football this year. You've mentioned him being pretty active in the mentorship role with guys such as Ursery and Blake Fisher. They obviously love him because they know him, they brought him in, and they trust him enough to do the things that he's been doing as far as mentoring the guys. I want to see what the hell that looks like, because it could be an absolute disaster, or it could be like one of those surprises where it's like, damn, Trent Brown's better than Blake Fisher and Ursery. Is he going to be a starting tackle on this team? Like, it's like it could just go like there's no scenario with Trent Brown that seems out of touch when it comes to him being on the field. So I'm very intrigued to see if he gets on the field and what it looks like if he does.
Yeah, he started with the if's the biggest part there. He's coming off of a major knee injury, and at his height and size, the likelihood that he comes back and has anywhere close to the juice that he had prior to the injury seems pretty low. Like the reason I didn't want the Texans to draft Josh Simmons, Trent Brown had the same injury. So
what if he ends up being like a coach?
It's not. I wouldn't say that that's out. Like, he may simply be here as a $1 million chaperone. Like, that may be what he is for the offensive line room.
It's a big ass chaperone, man.
Well, that's a chaperone you're not going to F with.
Nah.
I mean, how many guys you think could whoop Trent Brown's ass? Not many.
On this team?
On this team, there's got to be less than 10.
How many people could beat up Trent Brown on the Texans?
Yeah.
Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter.
There's 2.
Just because they're quicker. Mario Edwards. Mario Edwards might be the number 1 seed of everyone. Mario Edwards.
Okay, so there's 3.
Maybe Heinisch, but probably not.
I think Trent Brown dispatches him.
Okay.
I would say that there's
Ursery is younger. Ursery is way younger and way quicker and way less injured.
True. I like Trent Brown's
grown man on him.
I think he just grown man his ass. I think you listed
Autry. People are saying Danico Autry.
I don't think he's big enough. I think you've listed 3 of about the 5 or 6. I would give Cam Robinson a shot against him. Equal size.
No.
A little bit more athletic.
No. Cam's nice, man.
And then Laken Tomlinson. I think they'd both end up in the hospital if they
fought. But I think Laken Tomlinson would be like a take you to the ground and wear you out type of guy. Like, it would be a boring ass fight, man. In that situation. Not with like someone smaller, but like from a UFC thing. Yeah, there's not a lot of people messing with him. People are saying like Aziz Al-Shire versus Trent Brown. Dude, they have weight classes for a reason. Yeah. Derek Barnett's scary. Derek Barnett. Hey, Cheryl Kick next. Hey, Derek. Hey, that is the last person that I would on this team. Like because I think I don't know Trent Brown. I've never talked to Trent Brown. I don't even know. Like if you played like 4 voices, I wouldn't know. But Derek Barnett is the guy on this team that I think you could least talk your way out of an ass whooping if you wanted to whoop your ass. Like if I found myself in a situation with all these guys we mentioned, I feel like I could talk my way out of this ass whooping. I don't think you can talk yourself out of a Derek Barnett ass whooping if he already has his mind made up.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be much talking. If he decides to whoop your ass, he's just going to whoop your ass. I agree.
Yeah, Barnett is up there.
And then that's, I mean, we've kind of gone through the list there. Like it's
oh shoot. This is a good point here.
Keontae Hamilton.
Yes, he knows how to wrestle, and he's 300+ pounds. Hamilton might be able to beat Trent Brown.
Yeah, but Hamilton,
he's an all-state wrestler.
Compared to Trent Brown, Hamilton's got little T-Rex arms.
Yeah, but he's an all-state wrestler.
Yeah, but to wrestle him, you'd have to get close to him. Trent Brown's got distance.
Oof.
He throws a couple hands and Hamilton never gets close.
I don't know. He's got some. All right, now let's play the different game. Patrick just brought this up indirectly. Who on the team could Kaimi beat up? Who would Kaimi best have the chance to beat up?
The rookie long snapper?
Slovis?
Yeah, because if Keaton Slovis throws the ball like that, I can't imagine he's got knockout power.
Yeah, so if you told Fairbairn, all right, you got to walk down a dark alley, and you have to survive, you have to fight to the death to survive. Who is he picking? Is he picking Tommy Townsend? Like naturally, you go kicker punter, right?
Yeah, but
Townsend. Dude, you imagine getting kicked in the nuts by Townsend if he's fighting to the death.
Yeah,
like you told him he's just fighting to the death, and he just put like a full punt into your nuts.
Kaimi's listed as 6 foot 180.
Yeah, so he's definitely going to pick Townsend, right? Like no one else is in the discussion, so it's going to be Townsend versus Fairbairn.
I wonder if
Fairbairn's a golfer. Does that help you at all in this fight to the death hypothetical?
He's given up 2 inches and a few pounds to Keaton Slovis, but I think maybe. Quarterbacks.
So you think he would pick Slovis over Townsend? Because Townsend was a stud receiver, I think, in high school. Townsend's an athlete.
It's pretty. I mean, the list is short for
Townsend. How tall is Townsend?
6'1", 191 is the listed.
Yeah, he's not small.
I mean,
who is Kaimi picking to fight to the death?
It's either Townsend or Keaton Slovis.
Is Mertz? Would he take Mertz? Mertz has a bad knee.
Oh, Mertz! He's not even past the physical to fight.
But yeah, but even when he gets past the physical, that doesn't look like that knee's going to be like much better. You at least have like something to focus on, WWF style.
What about Braxton Berrios? He's a tiny guy.
No, he's a freak athlete.
Kaimi's 3 inches taller than him and 20 pounds heavier.
He's a freak athlete. You got to go Mertz, man. You got to go Mertz, and you got to try to work it like Ric Flair. Get him in the figure four.
Put the leg on the ropes and do the little thing where you sit down on it. It always looks so devastating.
Wags in the Soup asks, is Andrews really our starting center? Got them first reps. I'm not dismissing it at all.
If they played a game tomorrow, he'd start at center. That's
Yeah,
the way I would say it.
I'm not dismissing it. Someone said you're selling Hawaiian shorts. Samoans can fight. Is Kaimi Samoan?
I'm not going to pretend to understand his heritage.
Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't look like The Rock and Roman Reigns and head shrinkers.
I mean, there's an athleticism difference that's just going to be present. That Kaimi's going to be an extreme disadvantage. There's 90 guys on the roster. Like, he's going to be an extreme disadvantage to 85 of the guys.
Would you rather you have to hold your arm out, and you have to either let Will Anderson just punch you full speed in the arm, or you have to let Kaimi Fairbairn kick you in the arm full speed? You have to hold your arm out like this, and you have to either stand up and let Will punch it, or you have to get on your knees and let Kaimi just kick it full speed. Which one would you rather have?
I think I'd let Kaimi.
Oh, God. I don't know, man. They know how.
Because I think there's still an element of like some of his kicks are not full follow throughs. Like some of them are just like little chips.
Yeah, but with the way you talked about him, this is a full.
The way I talked about him.
Oh, it was me. Damn it.
Everybody's trying to kick him off the team, and I'm telling you, he's not going anywhere.
Which Texan's wife could beat Deshaun? Come on, Colton. Come on.
Come on, man.
Kaimi gonna fight Schultz for not blocking. Nah, Schultz is crafty, man. Schultz is crafty.
Schultz feels like he would be an eye poker.
Yeah.
He's also 6'5". Like there's a size, height, weight advantage that a lot of these guys have over some of the other players if they got in a fight too.
Yeah, massive human beings. Like, we got to remember, when Dalton Schultz is getting his ass kicked, the average height and weight is probably about 6'3.5", 280 pounds of the guys that he's blocking. It's not like he's blocking corners or anything like that. So anyway,
yeah,
it's definitely June right now with that previous dialogue. I actually enjoyed it though. What are the most overthought things in football? And this is in the spirit of D'Amico Ryans and Nick Caserio overthinking the way in which they present injuries. What are the most overthought things in football?
2-point conversions. People overthink 2-point conversions, and they try to do this goofy, silly math to say, do it this time. The 2-point conversion, there's too much conversation about them.
You're talking charts and all that type of stuff?
Charts and, when you're down this much, you should go for 2 because it gives you a chance to win more often than not, blah, blah, blah. Like, if you're not a good red zone team, going for 2 is really hard. If you're a really good red zone team, you should go for 2 more often. That's the gist of it.
I think the instant replay is overthought, and I just don't know why the original call matters. I don't think it should even be factored in, because the reason that instant replay is necessary is because human error is human error, and it's flawed. So why do you lean that way, given the fact that the only reason we're doing this in the first place is because of that? Like, it makes no sense. It would be like if we go back in time and let's say we're going to start asking for directions and someone gives you the wrong directions, and then all of a sudden you have your Apple Maps, but to follow the Apple Maps, you have to lean towards the directions. Why? Like, we've already corrected it technology-wise. So I don't understand why you have to lean towards the call on the field. Just go up there and make the call based on what you see. You're not leaning either way. And I think a lot of times that gets in the way of making the call because it's obvious, but it's not so obvious that you don't eliminate it. So I think that's the most overthought thing in football is replay. It's dumb that the tie goes to the original call. It should have no factor.
Once you go to replay, the replay official's giving you the new call. It's not call confirmed or call overturned. The new call is, or the ruling is, the player was out of bounds, was not out of bounds. The player's foot came down out of bounds before he came down inbounds. Whatever it is, the ball hit the ground. Like I'm with you. The conversation around play stands. Oh, what was the call on the field? It's silly. It's silly. I very much agree with that.
By the way, I just got a text on the bat phone, and this is from wifey, and she says she now has an all-time favorite Cody Stutes quote.
What is it?
Quote: "The amount of food lies you tell about me on this show is unbelievable."
It is unbelievable the amount of food lies you tell about me on this show.
So what is your Olive Garden order? I'll let you clarify.
I'll start with a Coke Zero and a water.
Okay.
And then if I'm getting an appetizer, I get the lasagna fritta, which is the little fried lasagna things. They're very good. Salad.
Why do you have to order apps at Olive Garden if you already get the salad and breadsticks?
Because I'm a fat ass.
All right, as you were.
Salad, extra dressing on the side, and then I get the chicken parmesan, and instead of spaghetti, I get angel hair.
Do you get it posty style?
What is posty style?
Post Malone order?
What does he do to it?
You gotta get it extra crispy.
Oh, no, the Olive Garden I go to always cooks the crap out of it.
Yeah, you gotta go chicken parm extra crispy. So that's the Post Malone. Okay, well, there you go. That sets the record straight.
And I don't get dessert at Olive Garden. I don't like any of their desserts.
Nah, never. Do you notice anything different this OTA versus last year's?
The operation of how they do things?
The operation's the same.
Well, every offensive lineman participates in every drill.
Yeah, you don't have guys sitting around.
Every offensive lineman stretches at the same time as every other offensive lineman. There's not two guys sitting over on the side putting tape on their fingers for 15 minutes.
Yeah, the stretching is a little bit more intense. It kind of feels like it does kind of feel like there was some sort of emphasis with the offensive line where it's like, hey, you get your ass up there and I feel like it's kind of led by Tomlinson. Do you think that whenever they
is he gonna be a captain?
Tomlinson?
Yeah. Is that what you were gonna ask me?
But I mean, no, but I could see.
I bet you there's not an offensive lineman that's a captain this year.
There shouldn't have been last year.
No shit.
But I do think that do you think that when they brought in Laken Tomlinson, like they talked to him and they were like, and like they talked to Trent Brown, they're like, look, this is the problem with this team. Like, we need this. We need you to really be the tone setter and blah, blah, blah.
Well, if the conversation's about changing the culture, then they needed to have the culture conversation with somebody. And I would think Tomlinson's the guy. I believe Trent Brown is here to help the tall tackles. They have two extremely tall tackles. He's been an extremely tall tackle with success in the league. He played for Cole Popovich. He was the tackle when they won the world championship in New England. Like, I believe he's here to help impart Cole Popovich, and I believe Laken Tomlinson's here to set the example for what hard-nosed offensive line work looks like.
You can make a case that at every of the three offensive line positions, without getting directional where we're talking left or right, that there's like someone who's like a mentor type that has indirectly or directly some sort of grasp of what this coaching staff expects. Trent Brown with the tackles, Tomlinson with the guards, and you can see it in stretches, like he's the leader. And then Andrews at center. Like you can make a case that like I don't even know if you have to make a strong case that all of these offensive linemen are those three guys are representing each position. If D'Amico had to vote captains, if D'Amico got to decide captains and there was no voting, who do you think he would appoint?
Jalen Petrie.
Will
Anderson.
Aziz.
Yeah.
That's three.
Derek Stingley.
Yeah.
He'd be the example captain.
What about, and you got to go CJ. Out of expectations, you got to go CJ.
I mean, I guess he didn't. I guess he would select the QB, sure.
Yeah. I would say he would consider Tomlinson though.
Oh, for sure.
I think he's a big fan.
For sure.
I think he's a very big fan. So we talked about the overthinking in football. What are the most overthought things in life? Real life.
Cards that you get for holidays or like birthdays or something. Just write a nice message on the inside. You don't need to spend 45 minutes and $18 on a card. Like, I buy all my cards at the dollar store.
Cards? Okay.
Like, I think that's one of the most overthought things in life. Like,
Okay.
just go in there, write a special message that makes the card special. Like some dope writer in a office somewhere shouldn't be the way that you deliver your message. Write it yourself. Okay, so I think cards. I think people overthink flowers too.
Man, them hoes are high, dude.
It's more oftentimes you get flowers for an occasion where a plant would fit better. Flowers have like a very clear expiration date.
So you buy people plants?
A plant gives them something to do.
Mm.
Like if I went to a housewarming party tomorrow, I'd get someone a plant.
Where should we eat? Someone said. I had that on the list. Where should we eat? It does create a lot of fights.
A lot of times if I can't figure it out, I put it on a wheel and let it spin. Put like 5 or 6 places on there and spin it.
I think that I think the number one woman's complaint, and this doesn't hit close to home, but it's the thing that you hear all the time. Leaving the toilet seat up. I don't understand where that came from. Like when women say that they get mad at men because they left the toilet seat up, why is that a big deal? Who made this up?
Because they don't think that they just assume that it's down. They go sit their ass all the way into the toilet.
Why would you assume that? It's literally just a flick down. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand why this is like so overthought. And plus, 9 times out of 10, the guy, it's inconvenient for the guy too, because in the restroom that he shares with the woman, the chances are that he's probably sitting down too. Like, who invented this complaint? I feel like this was just invented and women have run with it for a long time. And I haven't gotten in trouble for this. I leave it down. I just don't understand where this came from.
I'm confused that you don't understand that they fall in.
If you're dumb enough to fall in a toilet because you don't just push it down, then that's on you. I don't get it. Well, like in the fold down, can it be just part of your process? It's not timely. It like someone invented this, Cody. Like, you got to realize this. Like, there's a lot of things that are just invented to start fights between women and men. Society has done this.
Well, the toilet was not invented to start a fight.
No, the toilet up complaint was invented by someone and people latched onto it and it just starts fights. It's like Valentine's Day. It was invented to start fights between women and men. That's the only reason it was invented, and to make money. You can always follow the money. But if a toilet seat is up, it's not hard to put down. It doesn't take any more time. You can do it while you're sitting down. But you fall in the toilet. This is invented. And for some reason, it is something that starts fights. I hear this all the time. I hear people say, man, I can't stand when my husband leaves the toilet seat up. I can't stand when so-and-so leaves the toilet seat up. It's like, okay, he left it up so he left it up because he didn't want to pee on it whenever you sat down. So it was actually kind of generous of him. And quite frankly, I'll just be honest, and I don't know if I can speak for other men here.
You don't lift it, you pee through it.
Yeah, it's a video game. It's like a game at the thing. Yeah, you want to shoot through the ring.
I'm with you on that. I don't lift them.
And then it makes it a more fun experience.
If I pee on it, I clean it.
Yeah, and then you're trying to shoot between it because it makes it like a fun video game.
But what you're talking about here, the toilet seat being like the use of the toilet seat is that it is down.
No, it doesn't matter. If it's up, it's up. If it's down, it's down. It doesn't matter.
The full process of using the toilet to the women folk is that you lift it, use the toilet, lower it. Okay. Their expectation is it's lowered when they enter the bathroom.
Why? Who invented that?
Well, that's how the toilet.
There's no way. Like, if there's a lot of complaints where, like, if you heard, like, if you never heard anything about it, you wouldn't say anything about it. But like, this is one where it was just invented and people just say it. It's not a big deal.
Well, yeah, you don't ever have the danger of falling ass into the toilet,
brother. What? You see the toilet's up, you put it down, you sit down.
But no, they're not thinking about that because they've gone through a process in their life that's not part of the checklist.
Oh my God.
Their assumption is that it's down.
Crazy.
They're making the assumption that it's going to be down when they go in there, and then they go to plop down, and then they're falling in.
Overthought.
The worst is when you go use one of those rest stop bathrooms and they don't have toilet seats, and it's just a cold ass toilet there, silver toilet, and you freeze your ass off when you go to use it. That's the worst.
Wags on the suit before we get out of here says QB sliding or late slides are overthought. That definitely is a fact.
Yeah, tell Trevor Lawrence that.
And he also says, what Texans player scares you? You wouldn't fight. I wouldn't fight any of them. None.
Yeah, I'm not trying to fight any of those. All 90 of those guys are significantly better athletes by a wide margin than I am.
Yeah.
So even the guy that you think is the worst athlete on the team is a much better athlete than all of us.
Yeah. I can't believe you defended that toilet thing. Crazy. Anyway.
I'm just explaining to you why it would be an issue for them.
Gotcha.
I'm not taking a side one way or the other.
Anyway. Appreciate everyone for rolling through. Yes, it is June. Yes, the Texans will be on the field next week. Yes, I believe that CJ Stroud should be shut down until training camp. What say you? Subscribe, like, right along. Always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, whether you're disgracing your old great journalism professor Pete Bruton or you're making him proud, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together.
Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.